Hey Scrappy friends, it's Audrey. Welcome to day 4 of the Summer Scrappin series. Today my guest joining me is Lena Monaco, and you can check out her channel linked in the description below. So today I am using one of my favorite photos from last summer. I have several, but this is one of my favorites. It's a sunset picture. It was just the right time at night. I could still get a glow from the kids' faces in front of the fire, and they were roasting roasting marshmallows to make s'mores. So it was just kind of a perfect ending to a summer evening. So I picked out some papers that I thought kind of looked sunset-like. So I have this pink and peach yellow pattern paper from an old Hip Kit Club kit, and then a star paper from Simple Stories. And that star paper came from this collection from Simple Stories, which is kind of like a camping cabin, but it has a lot of lake icons and lake phrases, which I love. So I am going to use that, I think, because it also has a ton of s'mores things in there as well. So I am going to start with some white cardstock and gesso, because I'm going to do some mixed media on my background to make it look a little bit sunset-like. So I switched from the Navy Stars paper just for a little while, and I kind of went to this mint colored paper that was in the Simple Stories collection. I just thought the combination with the mint and the pink and the peach yellow here was just really pretty. However, I do end up changing it because it's a little bit too pastel for my photo, I felt, but I will keep this sunset picture. So I'm going to kind of try to mimic the skyline and the lake with those colors, and I'll just take a small strip of this dark navy star paper to kind of be like kind of like the horizon line, I guess, again to mimic what I have going on in the photo. So I really love these colors together, and I'm going to play around with this a little bit. So I kind of did something out of order here, and that is I went right to my embellishments instead of doing my mixed media. I would often go to my mixed media, but instead I'm going right to my embellishments and starting to pick out some more things. And I'm noticing, this is where I'm noticing that the colors, I don't know, they're just not going to work together, I don't think. This Simple Stories collection is very deep tones, a lot of earthy tones, and I have kind of like these pastel colors in my background. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I picked out a couple s'mores things, a couple other things I thought I might use. I'm thinking about using some 3x4 cards or 4x6 cards. I love this little phrase here. It says, sit by the fire, making memories, and then eat s'mores. So I thought that would be kind of a cute little subtitle to put here. So I'm going to fussy cut that out. I'm not going to show you me fussy cutting out the whole thing, but you'll get the idea. So I'll have sit by the fire, make memories, have s'more. I wish it said s'mores. It says have s'more. Who has one? Nobody ever has one. You have s'more. S'mores. I guess it makes sense if you say a s'more. It's just singular. Okay. Okay, so I have a couple small things picked out, and then this is where I decide to change that minty color to a blue that kind of matches the shade of blue better in my photo. Yeah, that's much better. It picks up on kind of the navy that's in there more instead of that minty pastel color. And I'm going to now use my shimmers and kind of recreate these colors on my background. And so I'm just spritzing. I'm not using the packaging technique. I'll go over a little bit with a paintbrush. I have gessoed this background paper, as you saw me do earlier, and I was just working on a separate piece of white cardstock as my gesso dried. I love the way that this looks right now, and I almost considered for a minute not even using the pattern paper and just going with the mixed media background, because look at those colors together. They're just so pretty, and it's so sunsetty. Is that a word? It is now. So yeah, I just love how that background looks. Unfortunately, I cover up a lot of it with the pattern paper, but yeah, I do go back through and add some more along. So see, I cover up most of those pinks and those pretty corals in the middle, but that's fine. it all works out. Okay, so I'm going to, I kind of play around with the position of these pattern papers here, like, because I'm trying to get a little bit more of the mixed media to show. So here's why I go and spray, you know, around the edges to kind of make a little bit more of that color pop out. But I really do like how the colors in the background really match the colors in the paper. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to glue these papers down. And I do this way instead of pulling them up off the page so that they stay exactly where I want, because I'm so picky about that. And I hate when I pull them up and they're not in the exact same spot that I wanted to put them on. And this glue dries so quick. This is the Scotch quick dry glue. Well, now it's called tacky glue or whatever they call it. But it dries super quick, so you gotta, when you put it down, it's not coming back up again. I'm just going to add a little bit more of the blue to kind of meet that navy strip, and then add a little bit more yellow on the top. And I'll trim off these edges here. Yeah, I like that. So pretty. Okay, what am I going to do now? Oh yeah, I decided to machine stitch. So I'm tracing kind of a half circle, and I do that in white pen so that you can't see it, and I just stitch right over. And I stitched with some yellow threads and made the sunset, and I added a couple blue rays in there, and then I'll show you a close up here in a minute. I did some wavy lines. I used a fancy stitch on my machine, which I don't use often enough. You can kind of see the backs of them here. And I use a variegated blue thread to kind of change the color of the waves on there. So there you can see my wavy lines. I love that. I need to use that decorative stitch more often, but I thought it really looked like shimmery water, so I loved how those stitches came out. And I was showing you here, I'm pulling my top threads out through the back so that there aren't any loose ends on the front. So that's what I was doing there. And then I just trim off all the, excuse me, all the loose strands on the back. So I broke out my die cutting machine and I cut these wonky, they're called drawn stars. I do not know where this cut file is from. I think it may be just from the Silhouette store. I can't remember. I think that's where it's from, but I've had this one for so long. I think it was one of the first cut files I ever had, but I thought I would add in a couple stars because, you know, it is dusk in the picture and sunset, and I was thinking about, you know, just the other side of the sunset, right, in the skyline, their stars already are out, so that's why I wanted to add some stars. And then I had gone through and picked out some letters for the title. My title's going to be Sunset and S'mores, and the sunsets, I was either thinking of having like a peachy, pink, yellow title, but I decided to end up going with the gold, a dark gold, instead of a dark foiled gold instead of a glittery gold. And then the s'mores word, I definitely knew I wanted a navy. So the gold foil letters are just some thickers, and then the navy letters, I'm pretty sure, are Hip Kit Club exclusives. And then I went an ampersand somewhere. This one actually came from the crepe paper poolside collection I was using in my last layout. I remembered I had pulled it off the chipboard sheet, and I thought maybe I could use it, but it's a little too big, and I don't think I want it gold. So I let it sit there for a minute to see if I really like it or not. Obviously, I'll have to move the word s'mores over, but instead, I went and found kind of an orangey one. So I want to use that little fire to the right with that's one from the die cuts from the Simple Stories, and it kind of has orangey red in it, so that's why I decided to go ahead and use an orangey red ampersand to kind of pick up on that orangey red color. I wanted to add something else here to the bottom. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to add, so I was just digging through my stash and I found these rub-ons. I think they're just from, I got them at Hobby Lobby. I think it was their brand rub-ons. And just to add a little bit more kind of watery elements down there in the blue section. And then I add this rub-on up here, but you can't, I mean, it matches the background so perfectly you can't even see it, so it was kind of a waste of a rub-on. I thought it might be a little bit darker and kind of just complement the blue ones in the bottom, but yeah, you can't even see it at all. And I will add an orange heart to create my visual triangle of that orangey color. Okay, so I'll just add a few more things here. I actually, like I said, I really struggled with embellishing this page because I really wanted the photo to stand out. I have a hard time scrapping really dark photos. I think like things with silhouettes or sunsets like this are just really hard for me to scrap. I don't know what it is. I remember last year I did a page with sunset or silhouettes or something, and I just had trouble with the colors. So The other thing is I think I've been so used to using cut files on my pages a lot, like big cut files that take up a lot of space, that I have a lot of empty space on my page here, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this space? So, gosh, I felt like it was the first time I was all new to scrapbooking here when I was creating this page, but okay, so I'm just using foam on the backs of these items and popping them up. So I have my little fire, and I have my s'mores, and a little label with a heart. And I move that ampersand around again and again and again. I'll glue these stars down quickly. And let's see. I don't think I add, oh yeah, of course, I add some, I end up adding some sequins down on the bottom. I'm not sure if I do this in this segment or not. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I felt like the bottom was missing something, especially down there in this bottom left corner. I just felt like I had too much white space, so I love just tearing up the paper just a tiny bit and adding just a little peekaboo of a color down there. So I did that with some navy, and you can see I just went through and I glued down some sequins. I think my phone died when I was recording and I forgot to record my sequin gluing, but all kinds of sequins, different sizes, different colors. So those kind of look like water, concentric, like when you throw a pebble in a pond and you see those ripples of water. That's why I picked those sequins. So, and my journaling there, and these stickers and pretty stitching and all kinds of goodies. So that is my page for today. I absolutely love this photo and this story and this moment for my kids last summer, so I'm glad I could get it scrapped. So thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to stop by Alina's channel as well and see her page, and stay scrappy, friends. I'll see you soon.